The new Netflix series focuses on a group of troubled superheroes who must confront evil in the world and themselves. I watch The Guardians of Justice. Should you? Let's find out. How's it going, movie watchers? Thank you guys for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Netflix series Guardians of Justice. Just by looking at the poster and the characters involved in this series, it is a parody of Justice League. This is created by Adi Shankar, and there's so many characters in here that are a parody of characters from Justice League, like Superman. There is Marvelous Man, Flash, we have Speed, Batman, we have Nighthawk. We also have parodies of like Joker, Mr. Smiles, and Robin. There's so many different characters within here, and there's so many different styles of filmmaking. We have the live action, we have animation, 3D animation, 8-bit animation, claymation. There's just like whatever you can think of within here, and this is quite possibly one of the weirdest things I have seen. At its core, it tells a story of Marvelous Man, a troubled superhero that kills himself in the first episode, and the team is struggling to kind of come to terms with that. But Nighthawk investigates his suicide and learns a little more about Marvelous Man, and he recruits other characters like Awesome Man and Speed and King Calamari, like Aquaman, to kind of help him out. And they have those different styles of animation, 2D, 3D, 8-bit, all in here to tell the story. It's a little jarring at first. You're watching just people act, and then you see 8-bit retro gaming style animation, and then claymation, and then like comic book style animation, just kind of telling each story right back to back. It happens so fast, and most of the time it just really takes you out of it. I think we would have had a more cohesive story if it was just focused on one style. But that's like the fun in it, I guess, is seeing so many different styles just kind of being thrown at you all at once. I think they're all handled pretty good, even if it really takes you out of each story. And I really kind of like the story in here as we look at how the world perceives superheroes and all the different superhero movies we've gotten from DC and Marvel, and how average some of them do feel. This is kind of looking at that and looking a little more in depth at the private life of some of these superheroes like Marvelous Man and Nighthawk and Speed, and how they handle some of these big events that happen to them. And so looking at some of these characters that just can't handle being a superhero anymore. So the story behind it is kind of clever and really interesting as well, even if it does take a little time to get adjusted to it. Once you're focused on the story, you're invested in it and seeing where it goes. But I will admit, there's a lot of times where I felt like the story just halted when it changed several different styles of animation or filmmaking, because it kind of took a way to recap certain stories for these characters or have these flashback scenes for these characters, and it didn't work for me a lot. It felt very quick from one scene to the other, and I wanted to just really focus on these characters, and it feels low budget, and that gives it that parody feel, but also not sacrificing telling the story of these characters, these superheroes, kind of going deep into what they are feeling. But by the end of the last episode, I found myself interested in the mystery of what actually happened to Marvelous Man and seeing how these superheroes reacted to it and also tried to adjust as well. So I actually like the story. The quick changes around is the hardest part to get to, and there might be some people that really kind of like that and see what it is going for, but that's just not for me. I just didn't care much for the quick change of the style of filmmaking very fast. It just took me out of some of the moments and my involvement in the story, as I was interested in what was happening to Marvelous Man and Nighthawk and all the other superheroes. And then once we got like a 8-bit style and then like a claymation style, it just took me out of the progression for the story. And so I could see where they were going with it, and I did appreciate the different styles, and they all looked pretty good, especially some of the 8-bit looked like a video game. I just love that. So Guardians of Justice was very odd. At times there is some really funny moments, very subtle humor. At times it's very violent. At times it's sexual. At times it feels like I loved watching the different takes on the Justice League characters and superheroes, intentional or not. I loved seeing all the different variations and how they were handling the story and kind of poking fun at superhero movies and how superheroes are in the world. And so I loved it at times. At times it was very frustrating. So overall, it's a very odd watch. I will give it that. It's one of the weirdest shows I have seen on Netflix. But I think it's worth a watch if you really do enjoy superhero films. But be warned, the filmmaking style changes very, very quick, very, very often, and you're not going to get the same thing within like the next 30 seconds to a minute. It's always going to change. So be aware of that. And if you don't really care, go check out Guardians of Justice on Netflix. 7 episodes. They range from like 25 to 35 minutes long. It's not going to take a long time to get through. It's got a pretty good cast too. We have Andy Milonakis in here. We also have Derek Mears as Awesome Man, Denise Richards in here as well, and Will Yun Lee plays Marvelous Man. Just got a pretty good cast, and they make the most fun of it. So before I give you my score for Guardians of Justice on Netflix, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give the Guardians of Justice a B-. Thank you guys for checking my review for the Guardians of Justice. It is now on Netflix. Have you guys seen it by chance? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.